Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina with another live stream show. That's right, it's Sunday night, y'all, and it is Sunday night, November 28th at 8:30 p.m. We're going to get rolling on our Sunday night live stream show. Thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with us. Really appreciate you guys all joining our live stream show tonight. Adam Franklin, thanks for those 500 stars. Bob Demmel as well with those 200 stars. Sean Porchke, appreciate you too, buddy. Appreciate everybody else for hanging in. Randy Hauser, Paul Carteau, Randy Friend, Scott Young, what's going on? Chuck Clark, Robin McDowell, Chris Collins, Larry White, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you guys all for hanging out with us tonight on this Sunday night. A little chilly, but it is not too bad down here in beautiful Florida. It was a gorgeous morning this morning. If you missed it earlier today, we posted a YouTube video, full HD, of the drone flying around this morning. We also posted it to Facebook, but Facebook only lets you post up to 720p, so not full HD, still pretty on Facebook, but if you want to see it in full HD, definitely check it out on YouTube. Also, want to make sure we give our shout out to our friends at Gator Jim's Tackle at 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. That's exit 17 off 275 right there by Maximo boat ramp and by O'Neill's Marina. If you haven't checked out Gator Jim's Tackle yet, you should. Largest selection and inventory I've ever seen. It is absolutely incredible. It rivals, actually it doesn't rival, it puts Bass Pro even to shame inventory-wise right now. They have more inventory of rods than I've ever seen anywhere under normal conditions, let alone these post-COVID supply chain issue conditions. It is incredible how many rods that Gator Gyms has. So definitely check it out. And if you stop by there with your kids and say that Hubbard's Marina sent you, they have gifts for youth anglers too. So definitely a big shout out to Gator Jim's Tackle for bringing you this show. This show is brought to you by Gator Jim's Tackle. Also, don't forget to comment where you're watching from. If you're watching on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, make sure you tell us where you're watching from. And make sure you give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Make sure you like the video if you're watching on Facebook. Double tap on Instagram. And don't forget on Facebook to share the video with your timeline and on your favorite fishing group. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, guys. And if you're watching on Instagram, remember, if you're watching in the app, you're only seeing the very center of the screen. If you go to Instagram.com on your phone's browser and watch there, you can turn the phone sideways and see the full screen, the full breadth of this awesome live stream show. So don't forget that, guys. Also, big shout out to our supporters group. If you missed it, we did a supporters only fishing trip last week that was absolutely free to our supporters group. It was a ton of fun, and we caught a ton of hogfish, more than 24 keeper hogfish. I caught all the babies, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. And it was
more
a
than
great
I
time.
caught.
Yeah, it's more than Josh caught. Josh got we had a bet going on when Josh would get seasick. I had the under on noon, and I was way off. He got seasick at like, what, 9 a.m.?
9:14.
9:14. He drank 3 beers, threw up, and fell asleep.
No, I drank 5. I had 5
disappointed.
beers. Yeah.
So very disappointed in you.
Yeah,
I'm not upset. I'm just
I was fine
disappointed.
until Will started talking about the waves. I'm telling you. I was sitting there having a great time. Will walks up. Oh, yeah, it's going to start raining. It might get a little choppy. You'd look at it over there. You can see the waves are starting to act.
Blame Will. All right.
Hashtag blame Will.
Definitely a lot of fun. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure, later in the show. But as always, we want to get rolling with the photos and show you guys what we've been catching inshore, and we'll start inshore, work our way near shore, and then go offshore. So let's see what we've been catching inshore. And lately, the redfish bite has been good. We've been seeing a lot of these redfish. The soft plastics are working well. We've been seeing a lot of redfish around those mangrove shorelines, oyster bars, even those residential dock lines starting to get good as that water temperature drops. Artificial shrimp, the soft plastic paddle tails, the dark green, the new penny, the white, all really good colors to use. We're also seeing a pretty heavy snook bite. A lot of those snook are starting to move into that back bay area, getting really active around those grass flats and mangrove shorelines, and also residential canals and dock lines. As that water temperature drops, those residential canals and dock lines will become better and better locations for those snook. But right now we've had a kind of a moderate start to our winter time. So we haven't really been seeing a crazy snook opportunity moving along those residential canals and docks, but we've definitely been seeing a lot of those snook around our dock lights and bridge lights, around the passes and around the flats during the day. Artificial shrimp, soft plastic paddle tails, white bait, all good options. Around structures like docks, piers, bridges, jetties, live pinfish, live pigfish, even live shrimp. Today, some young anglers fishing on the dock caught a nice big old snook, fishing right off the dock with some live shrimp. So you never know. You never know what you could catch out there. The dock was loaded up with people fishing today. Lots of sheep's head around. Every time I walk to and from virtually anywhere, I always am peeking over the seawall, and there's been a ton of sheep's head around. So sheep's head getting more and more prolific. We're still seeing some of those mangrove snapper inshore, trout bites picking up, flounder are around, a lot of pompano out at the jetties and on the beach. So a great time inshore as a lot of those fish are kind of transitioning. Snook starting to move back, redfish spreading out a little bit, pompano picking up. So good times to be had right now if you can make it out there and soak a bait inshore, and especially near shore and offshore. Speaking of, let's get into those near shore and offshore photos now, show you what we've been catching near shore and offshore. Hogfish and more hogfish. That is the story near shore. We've been seeing a ton of these hogfish as of late. Lots of these guys on our 5-hour half days, 10-hour all days. Definitely picking up a lot of these hogfish on a variety of different trips. But the 10-hour trip is a great opportunity to dial in on them. But even the half days have been doing well. We had a afternoon half day the other day, caught 15 keeper hogfish in just a very short amount of time. We've been seeing as many as 15 to 18 on a half day, and as many as 2 dozen. About 2 dozen is about the max that we've seen on a 10-hour trip. But we are starting to see the keeper gags on the 10-hour trips too. A lot of nice hogfish as of late. Definitely hogfish bite is picking up. And we're seeing a lot of them on the live shrimp, lighter tackle, 30-pound fluorocarbon leader, 3/4/0 hook, definitely the way to go. Live shrimp is key. A lot of these big hogs, as you can see from the photos, they just keep coming. It's been an incredible start to our hogfish season. We typically catch these all year round, but we see them most often in these cooler months. Captain Frank likes the springtime the most, like February, March, April, and even into early May. But we've been seeing a lot of them even early this year. So hopefully we'll have a good push of these hogfish all the way through our winter time here at Hubbard's Marina and be able to take advantage of these great eating, unique looking fish for sure. Rondi Morris, appreciate those stars, man. Thank you, buddy. Definitely. I mean, just an incredible amount of hogfish photos. When do they stop, Josh? We've got a lot of these things.
No idea. It looks like Dave.
And someone, please
on
help me next time you're on the boat with us. Teach Splash here how to hold a fish. I mean, what is he doing to that hogfish, Josh? He's like hugging it / cradling it. It looks like Estelle Wolfman trying to unhook a fish.
I was just going to say, that's the Estelle there.
Now look at this one. This one's unique. The old Tripletail Hog Fish. This is one hogfish, 3 tails. It is crazy looking, huh? Perfect double tail on top, 1 on the bottom. It is very unique looking, to say the least. No one has seen anything like that. I sent this to a couple scientists. They were stumped. Our captains and crew never seen anything like that. Very unique looking hogfish, to say the least. Look at all these hogfish photos. I didn't realize how many we had. We got 1, 2, 3. It's going to take too long to count.
We got too many of them.
Too many of them.
But that's a good thing.
That's all from this past week, guys, and definitely an incredible hogfish catch as of recently. And great mangrove snapper action, even near shore. We've been seeing some big mangroves offshore, steady mangrove bite offshore, anywhere from around 7, 8, 9 pounds have been typical jackpot winning mangrove snapper on our longer range trips. We're still seeing some of those kingfish near shore. This was on a Hub private charter, fishing around 80, 90 foot of water. We've been seeing big Gag Grouper and plenty of them offshore. Our 44-hour full moon trip, they caught 90 or about almost 90 keeper gags last weekend. 39-hour came in this morning with 91 keeper Gag Grouper. The 12-hour private charter that went out today caught some monsters. As you can see here, this was a gag from the 12-hour private charter, the one we were just showing. This one was from our 39-hour trip that came in this morning. Another one from the 12-hour private fishing charter on the Flying Hub 2 today. Just an incredible. We talked about how many gags or how many hogfish photos we had. Well, buckle up. We've got a lot of Gag Grouper photos too, guys. Just an incredible bite right now. Near shore and offshore. It's a great time to get out there on the water, take advantage of the great weather. Look at that. Fishing so good, even Splash can catch them. Just kidding. He didn't catch that fish. He just held it for a photo. I can't talk too much smack, though. Great Gag Grouper action. And on this 39-hour trip, they did not have a live bait. They didn't have a lot of live bait. Unfortunately, Thanksgiving and other issues, just slow fishing for the pinfish. Not really. Red tide kind of messed things up, made it more difficult around our area. We had red tide settle in a lot more. This is a nearshore Gag Grouper caught on basically a 10-hour trip area. So still seeing those gags near shore, like I said. Beautiful Cubera snapper. Caught a Cubera snapper on this 39-hour trip that came in today. Beautiful fish. I didn't get the final weight on it, but it was probably in the 20s, mid-20s. Beautiful fish. Actually ate a threadfin or a frozen threadfin while fishing for mangrove snapper during the day. So very, very unique. Typically, we catch them when fishing for mangroves. You'll hook a mangrove snapper and a Cubera will eat it, or people will catch them targeting them with some type of crustacean like a crab or a lobster. But this one came up on a threadfin during the day. Also, we typically catch them at night. So you kind of a unique catch there and a surprise. Typically, we see them at the end of the summer when the water is hot. Here's the view from our supporters trip. The supporters group. There's Josh. He woke up just for the photo. Everybody look.
I woke up because I smelled the food from the fishermen.
Yeah. There's a supporters group photo. It was a lot of fun. Great trip. Here's the lady anglers who put a hurtin' on the rest of the anglers on board. Like, I think it was at least 3 lady anglers that caught 3 keeper hogfish. It was definitely a lady angler's day. They were showing us all how to do it. It was a great time out in the water. There's a dolphin boat with our fancy new Yamaha motors. We're going fully Yamaha across our fleet outboard engine-wise, and we're working towards going fully Garmin on our electronics. So exciting stuff there. There's the new Hubbard's Marina wrap. My truck got a new wrap. Pretty excited about that, featuring our partners, the Real Animals now, and some updated fish designs, and it's got kind of a fish scale background to it now, so it's got a different color. Really cool looking wrap, so check it out next time you're around Hubbard's Marina. As I was saying, just an incredible amount of Gag Grouper and Hogfish too. That's really the big news as of late. Great Gag Grouper bite offshore. We're finding a few of them near shore. Stellar hogfish bite near shore, and a great opportunity to catch plenty of fish when the weather's good. And speaking of weather, we're going to get into that next. But before we get into the weather, we do want to give you guys the update on Black Friday. Our Black Friday deals are running through end of day tomorrow. So we have Black Friday deals that started on Black Friday, obviously, and they run through end of day Cyber Monday. So tomorrow is your last opportunity to take advantage of these crazy deals. We are giving away, I'm going to go no camera so you can see it. We are giving away basically the Saltiga LD50 2-speed. That's $150 off. The Saltist LD50 is $80 off. The Saltist is over $100 off. The MQ 10K. We've got $10 off Rapalas. We've got crazy deals. Not only that, but we've got 30% off Costa glasses. We've got 25% off Bull Bay rods, and we've got $5 Hubbard's Marina hats. So some killer deals in store and online. Definitely stop by. The Bull Bay rods are in store only. The dip nets, the micro sticks rods, the $5 Hubbard's hats, all in store deals, but everything's kind of duplicative. Our online only deals are all the reels that you saw listed. We've got Akuma Avenger 3000s for $22. So crazy deals going on through end of day tomorrow. So make sure you take advantage of it before they're gone. Nina McCormick, appreciate those almost 500 stars. Richard Blazak, appreciate you, buddy. Randy Kessel, thank you, sir, for those stars, y'all. Thank you, guys. So as I was saying, killer Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. Make sure you take advantage before they're gone. Now, with that, we're going to talk about weather next. I didn't lie, but we're going to give away a free trip to start. Let's give away our 10-hour all-day. That is a $218 value, a 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. Let's see who the lucky winner is. Don't forget, if you're that lucky winner, you do have to text that phone number over in that corner there within about 5 minutes, your full home address. Nick Wise from Bradenton, Florida. Congratulations, Nick Wise, on that win. Remember, if you're the lucky winner, Nick, you got to text us at that phone number right down there within about 5 minutes, your full home address. So text that phone number within 5 minutes, your full home address to prove you're watching live and to claim your free trip, which will mail out to you in the form of a gift certificate. So make sure you claim it. As far as weather goes, there is no weather. It is just absolutely spectacular weather-wise. Tomorrow we're getting another little front, but it's not really a strong front wind and seas-wise. It's going to keep our temperatures moderate and kind of low in my opinion, but it's only going to be about 10 to 15 knots tomorrow, not really much of a sea condition, and then it's gorgeous as far as the eye can see. So I'm keeping my fingers and my toes crossed, saying some prayers and knocking on wood all at the same time. We definitely have a nice weather window for the first time since probably July that I see a 10-day forecast where we don't see any weather disturbances. So Josh is going to show us, if you go to hubbardsmarina.com and click fishing trips, scroll down, click weather links, that brings you to the weather links page. Click on that 5 and 10 hour forecast. I'm hoping it's still all blue or light blue. And look at that. Look at that. Would you just look at it, Josh? That is 10 days of less than 15 knot winds. Haven't seen it since the summer, guys. That is crazy for this time of year to have that long of a stretch of beautiful weather conditions. Great for us rod and reel fishermen. Terrible for the mullet fishermen and the stone crabbers out there. But rod and reel men and women, we love this nice little weather window that we have now. And let's take advantage of it, guys, because as you have seen from the photos that we just showed, Gag Grouper are biting incredibly well offshore, hogfish incredibly well near shore. So it's a great opportunity to take advantage of this good weather and make it count. Make it count. So come out and see us. Take advantage of the Black Friday deals, Cyber Monday deals, and the good weather. Killer time to go. With that, let's get into specialty trips. Our specialty trip schedule is going to be released on Tuesday, November 30th at 11 a.m. So if you want to book a 12-hour extreme trip, 39-hour trip, 44-hour trip, any of those specialty trips for next year, November 30th at 11 a.m. is when that schedule comes out. Stan Kovaluk, appreciate those 200 stars. And Robert Holzhauser, man, thank you so much for those 1,000 stars. You're the man. Appreciate you, buddy. And Robert, I saw you took advantage of those Black Friday deals. That's awesome, man. He picked up 2 reels at that super discounted rate. So
got to pick up his and hers.
Yeah, you got to. So he definitely got to take advantage of the great deals. So make sure you do it before they're gone. Also, want to make sure we remind y'all we're doing our Regulars Club renewals right now, but our Regulars Club will open to new members starting on November 30th. So Josh has also added to our website a new Regulars Club page. So people often ask, I can't find the Regulars Club information on the website. That's because it was never listed. And the reasoning behind that was it's kind of like a word of mouth, referral thing. It's a loyalty program. It's really not supposed to be advertised. It's one of those things that you kind of find out about when you've been going a lot and we get to know you and you're a really cool person and you could be a great Hubbard's Marina ambassador. You're kind of word of mouth told about it. But sometimes people fall through the cracks because of that. They don't always get picked up on right away. So we wanted to put it out there on the website. It makes it easier for us to disseminate the information, easier for you to learn about the Regulars Club. And it clears up some confusion because sometimes I'll have people like, hey, man, the Regulars Club, I see they get to do this, or they're not, they don't have to follow the rules because they're regulars. It's like, no, the opposite is true. In my opinion, they're held to a higher standard. They're expected to know the rules, and they're expected to be the ones following the rules and helping everybody else learn what the rules are so they can follow them too. So they're kind of Hubbard's Marina ambassadors, and it's a loyalty program. So you go fishing 10, 15, 20 times a year or more. It makes it more affordable so you can go fishing even more often at the same amount of money. So it's a great way to earn big discounts on the fishing trips if you go fishing a lot. So definitely check out the Regulars Club information. It's under the info tab. It's under fishing trips, catch more fish. You can find it. There's a lot of different ways you can find it through the navigation on the website. Under fishing trips, you'll see Regulars Club info. Under the info tab, you'll also see it too. And new members for 2022 can sign up starting November 30th. So keep that in mind, guys. Now, back to the show. What else did I have to shout out? Price changes. We talked a little bit about that, I think, weekend before last. I want to, again, reiterate, we are going to have a slight increase in pricing next year. Very slight, only 10%. Fuel has gone up 30% on us. Staff, somebody somewhere decided on voting for a $15 minimum wage, which obviously we paid our staff very well, but not intro staff. They didn't start at $15 an hour. Now they do because of that minimum wage thing, and it's going to keep going up. So we're in a pickle, and everything is getting more expensive because of that. Inflation just rises. So now we've got this big issue with fuel prices going up, so we're slight price increase, guys. So I just want to make sure you are aware and prepared for that. So about 10% across the board for 2022. So don't be alarmed when you see that when you go to book your trips for next year. Also, that's all the announcements I had. So let's get into your questions. Josh, let's answer some questions before we get any further down the road. First question, what are the exact dates of the deep water closure? That is February and March. So February and March are the deep water closures, which means during those times you have to stay inside of 120 foot of water if you catch if you want to keep and retain those grouper species like red grouper, scamp grouper. That's only for the months of February and March. It's a spawning closure to protect those spawning grouper in deeper water. So because of that, they close red grouper and scamp grouper to harvest in February and March. So we have to stay inside of 120 foot if we want to keep grouper. But typically what we do is we'll go outside of that area and catch our snapper at night. And then during the day when the grouper are biting and we're targeting them, we'll come inside of the fence and we'll still catch pretty much the same amount of red grouper and scamp grouper. And we'll do really well on the snapper. And it's typically a better time of year numbers wise. It's less people on the trip, so great opportunity to get out there and take advantage of lighter loads and good fishing that time of year when the weather is good as well. So January we'll be fishing deep, and then April we'll be fishing deep as well. So great opportunities to get out there and catch some fish. And guys, please refrain from political comments. This is a fishing show, not a political show. So everybody has a right to their own political views, but religion, politics don't belong in fishing. We're all from different backgrounds, and that's what makes party boat fishing great. You don't have to know. You can all get along, whatever color, whatever political background, whatever religion. You can all come together and catch fish, have a great time on the water. As long as you don't bring up politics or religion, it's all good. So don't bring it up. Keep it off the stream or you will be blocked. Thank you. All right, moving on. The Saltiga LD50 and the Saltist LD50, which is your favorite? Well, one is considerably more expensive because of its ATD drag. So what that means is Daiwa engineers have engineered this crazy liquid. It's like $30 for like a droplet of this engineered liquid. And basically it's more viscous, but then as tension is applied to those drag washers, it becomes less viscous. So what it means is it's like a really liquidy fluid. And then as drag starts to go out, it gets more and more dense and less liquidy. To make it easier to understand. I had to be explained that way too. I'm not trying to pander or anything like that or talk down to anybody. I didn't get it either. But basically, as the drag goes out, instead of drag washers slowing the drag, it's actually the liquid assisting the drag washers and tightening the drag. So it's really cool how the system works, and that's why the Saltiga is more expensive than the Saltist. It's an all one piece, really high grade aluminum frame, and it has a crazy drag system that is super smooth. So the Saltiga has more power, it's more solid because it's one piece metal frame and that ATD drag. So that's why the Saltiga is more expensive. That's why it's also my favorite, because it's nicer quality. But the Saltist is a bad to the bone reel. I've got one of them too. I use the Saltis for my kind of lighter tackle, 40, 50, even 60 pound. You can get away with putting 80 pound on it if you wanted to, but I use that for more of my mangrove snapper, red snapper, and then if I'm fishing for like bigger red snapper, my medium to large Gag Grouper, I'm going to use the Saltiga. Then if I'm fishing for a really big Gag Grouper or an amberjack, I'd be using a big 9-aught with a 125 pound test. So that's what that's all about as far as the differences between the Saltiga and Saltist. Are there pompano around this time of year? Definitely. We see a lot of pompano right now around the jetties and along our beaches. Blinds Pass, Paso Grill are my two favorite areas to target pompano, but around Clearwater, Sand Key, Fort DeSoto, the Dick Meisner Bridge, or the entrance to Bunce's Pass. Basically, any sandy pass, sandbar, sandy areas adjacent to the flats, you're going to find those pompano cruising, and definitely see a lot of them this time of year. So it'll get better and better, and around the beaches, clear water is what you're looking for. They like clean water. Not necessarily I'm talking like red tide. Obviously, they don't like red tide, but I'm talking about clear and not stirred up. So like behind fronts, when it's super murky, it gets them excited, but it does kind of spread them out a little bit.
That's a good one.
That is pretty good. So the next comment is, with wildfire... Can't talk tonight.
English.
With wildfires ravaging across the United States and record drought conditions, have Smokey and Dusty considered changing their names to Watery and Vegetation-y to bring hype to the U.S. fishing industry for nationwide healing? No, Smokey and Dusty have not considered changing their fishing names. If anything, guys, we need motivation for Smokey and Dusty. They're starting to get a little bit loose on us, guys. We gotta tighten them back up and keep them around. So we're doing the best we can to motivate Smokey and Dusty and hopefully keep them around as long as we can. But they're both flirting with the idea. I've heard them both talk about hanging up those fishing boots. So it will be a very sad day if that ever comes to fruition. So next time you see them, make sure you tell them, hey, we love you guys. Don't leave. This is your forever job. Don't hang up your fishing boots. It's too early. You're too young. So they need some motivation, y'all. When is the holiday boat parade at Madeira Beach? That is a great question. I'm going to have to consult my good old Fair Harbor on that one, because I know we have a boat parade coming up this Friday. This Friday is our first lighted boat parade. Now, as far as who is when, I am not sure, but I will have that here in a minute. Josh, you're Googling it. I'm looking it up on my end, and of course, having issues. But I know we have a lighted boat parade this coming Friday. I don't know if it's Treasure Island or Madeira Beach, but we should be able to find out for you real quickly. It's the Treasure Island lighted boat parade, and it's not Friday. I apologize. It's Saturday, November 4th. Saturday, November 4th is the Treasure Island lighted boat parade, and December 11th is the Madeira Beach lighted boat parade. So we've got one this Saturday, and then the following Saturday, all lighted boat parade. So December 4th, Treasure Island, December 11th, Madeira Beach. Thanks for reminding me. I wanted to promote that tonight, and I forgot. So lighted boat parade cruises are a lot of fun. Even if you're a fishing person, it's a great time to bring the family out and hang out on the boat. Go out on the Dolphin Watch or the Friendly Fisherman and cruise the Intercoastal and see all the beautiful homes and boats all dressed up for the lighted boat parades. Definitely a good time. Smokey is the best, and no, he's not coming back on the show. He's been officially retired from the show. We don't want him to hang up his fishing boots, but he is not good on live internet TV where There's no off button. There's no filtering. You just never know what Smokey's going to say. And the last couple times we've had him on the show, he's pre-gamed the show pretty heavily. And it just does not work out well. And it's too much liability. So Smokey is not coming on the show unless we have like a morning show. And he even says himself, and he'll openly admit, that he won't do one of these shows unless he's already in the bag. And you can't be in the bag to be on the show. So it's kind of a catch-22, unfortunately. So Smokey has self-retired himself. And Brian Angle, Frank is the same way, man. He doesn't want to do the show unless he's already pre-gamed it as well. And that's not the type of show we're doing. We want to try to keep it at least somewhat professional. By the end of the show, I mean, sometimes I'm a little bit buzzed, but I don't start the show buzzed. Let's see. Moving on. Is using a top shot of mono on your braided spool the same to use as I'm not sure what that question is, Josh. No clue. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, but you do need a top shot if you are fishing braided line. Absolutely mandatory. You cannot fish straight braided line to your swivel. So if you have braided line in your reel, which you don't need, mono works great. Braided line is for those advanced anglers who are slow pitch jigging, vertical jigging, doing some unique styles of fishing, maybe flat line with it, flat line fishing with it, deep drop fishing with it. The average Joe angler, especially if it's your like first reel, you don't want or need braided line. It makes things more difficult because then you have to add a top shot. So stay away from the braided line if you can. If you've already got braided line in your reel, if you're a advanced angler who likes braided line, that's fine, but you have to use a monofilament or fluorocarbon top shot. Me personally, there's no reason to use fluorocarbon as your top shot, because fluorocarbon is stiffer than mono and it has more abrasion resistance. But if you're letting that grouper get you 8 feet into the rocks to start scratching your fluorocarbon or start scratching your top shot, you've got bigger problems. So mono works great for top shot, in my opinion. That's what I use personally. The newer mono, the technology is very similar to fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon is just more stiff and has more abrasion resistance, but not that much more than the high-end monos that are already out there. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do, but either one, fluorocarbon or monofilament, got to have a top shot. At least 1/3 of your line in the water should be top shot. So what you do is you add a line-to-line knot from your braided line to your monofilament or fluorocarbon top shot. Then you add about 1/3 of line. Then you put your egg sinker on that top shot, your swivel, in about a 4 to 6 foot leader, depending on what type of fishing you're doing. So that is how you do the top shot. And yes, it is definitely necessary. And no, it is not your leader. Your top shot is like the leader before your leader. It could be 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 feet of monofilament prior to your leader. And that is a top shot. Let's see here. What are your plans for all those great Daiwa reels on your desk? So these are the Daiwa reels that are on our Black Friday special. They were all here in the studio for a photo shoot, so Josh could make those great promo photos we showed you earlier. So that's the only reason they're on the desk. So don't get your hopes up tonight. We're not giving away any crazy reels, but maybe might do something later for the next holiday coming up. Maybe. Don't hold me to that. But for now, it's just show and tell. We love Daiwa. Shout out to Daiwa. Not sponsored by Daiwa, but we love them regardless. And that's what we sell in our shop because that's what we believe in. Let's see. Next question, Josh. Pause for poise. We got anything on YouTube?
Not question-wise.
What?
Not question-wise, no.
Nothing on YouTube, question-wise.
Supply of pinfish.
Where are the stars? The stars are on Facebook. Fish fry for the office tomorrow. That's awesome. That sounds like fun. Butch owes a fish fry to the office. He needs to earn some good credit back. Let's see. I've never had that. I use pink Yozuri. Yeah, it definitely, on a spinning reel, fluorocarbon can get a little, I would say more so mono is more spongy than fluorocarbon. Typically, fluorocarbon has a little bit less spring to it. Mono, certain brands of fluorocarbon and certain brands of mono are more spongy or springy than others. It kind of depends on the brand you're using, to be honest. Let's see. We got 20 minutes left in the show, guys, and we don't have any more questions, Josh is telling me. So if you have a question, you got to text it to that phone number below these beautiful Daiwa reels in order to have your question answered live during the show. So if you have a question, don't hesitate to go ahead and text it in. So Chuck Clark said, I know you like strawberry grouper. How do you fix yours? My go-to method for grilling, baking, or really any type of fish cooking, if I'm going to cook it at my house, which isn't often. Most of the time, I am doing it at the restaurant next door, the Friendly Fisherman. Take it right over to the Friendly Fisherman, have them bake it, fry it, broil it, blacken it. They do it all right there at the Friendly, and then I can take it home. It's already cooked. I don't have to mess with it after a trip. But if I'm going to do it at home, there's only one method. The Hubbard's Family Secret Recipe. That's no longer a secret because it's right on our website. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, then click fishing video links. If you scroll through there, there's nearshore and offshore tips, there's rigging tips, and then there's general tips. And under the general tips section, there's a video called How to Cook Your Catch, and that is straight from Fox 13. They came out and did a little segment with us, and we grilled fish right on the dock with the Hubbard's Family Secret Recipe. And it's basically Hellman's mayo. That's the trick. Don't do Dukes, none of this other crap. It's Hellman's mayo only. My grandmother was very specific about that. I don't know. I haven't tried anything else because she scared me. But Hellman's mayo is all she would ever use. So, and my dad always jokes about it. I don't know if he was serious or not, but Hellman's mayo was basically the go-to. So you take your fish and you rinse off the fillet a little bit, not too much. You don't want to rinse off all the flavor. So rinse off your fish, then pat dry it with a paper towel just a little bit, and then just a fairly thin layer of mayo. You can go heavier mayo, but you want a thinner layer. Just enough mayo to let the seasoning stick. Then once you get one side coated with mayo, heavy seasoning. I like garlic powder, onion powder, garlic salt, black pepper, and Himalayan sea salt. That pink stuff, that's killer. So, and then, oh man, I'm blanking on the name. Everglades seasoning. So garlic salt, garlic powder, onion powder, black peppercorn, Himalayan sea salt, Everglades seasoning. Hammer it with that stuff, then flip it over. Mayo, repeat the seasonings, and then you're good to go. Pop that sucker on the grill until it just barely starts to turn white. And then as soon as it starts to get more opaque, that's when you flip it. Because if you let it cook too long on the first side, you go to flip the fish, it will not work. It'll fall apart on your grill. It'll be a terrible mess. It's a nightmare. So you got to flip it early. Don't let the first side cook too much. So as soon as it starts getting opaque, flip it, and then let it cook a little bit longer on the second side. And that mayo locks in the moisture. It gets it crispier on the edges. It's incredible. Hellman's mayo, those seasonings, try it at home. It's killer. Thicker fish, like a big old Gag Grouper or red snapper fillet, I'll even cut them in half because it's like a steak. If it's bigger than like 1.5 inches, it gets all screwed up because it gets burnt on the outside, doesn't cook all the way through. So you want it about 1.5 inches thick at most. If it's bigger than that, you want to kind of half it and cook it like a butterflied fillet kind of idea. But definitely really good. And yes, you can definitely taste the fish even with seasoning. Just a little bit of seasoning. It's not drowning out the fish, but don't put seasoning on it. Just put the mayo. If you don't like seasoning, but I like seasoning. I like having some flavor along with the fish. But definitely choose your own seasonings. Those are just the ones I recommended. It's crazy world we live in. What other questions do we have here? Also, pro tip, you're cooking it in the oven. I can grill anything. When it comes to an oven, it's like very more difficult for me. Very much more difficult for me. So if you put in a slice of onion, just put an onion steak in there. And as that onion steak becomes clear, you're good. So I always set my oven to broil and just put a couple slices of onion in there, and then maybe a little bit of extra butter. Yeah, we're going to make comments about not tasting the fish again because I like butter. But put tin foil in your pan, put your mayo, seasoning, all that good stuff on your fish, and then put in a slice or two of onion, and then when that onion becomes clear, fish is done. Easy peasy. That's your timer, is your onion. Yeah, it's definitely a fishing show, not a cooking show. Now I'm hungry. Now I want to go home and cook fish. But I mostly just do bacon. Bacon in the oven, everything else on the grill. Someone was trying to talk me into buying a Traeger grill. It got me real interested when they told me how easy it is to cook chicken wings
Only
on
if it's
the grill.
pellet. Only if it's the pellet Traeger.
Yeah, the Traeger only makes pellet grills. I don't think they have anything else.
My neighbor has one.
That's not a pellet Traeger?
Yeah, it's just like a little circle, like a tabletop one. It's weird. It's like, you know, the old school Webers?
No.
They're only like, I don't know, probably like 3 feet tall.
Oh,
you
really?
Like set them on like a concrete table or something.
Oh, yeah, like
He
a
has
camping,
one of those,
camping grill. Oh, I didn't know they had those.
Ask a question. How's the Skyway?
Skyway. I don't fish the Skyway. I don't know. I know at the Skyway they've been talking about mackerel and sheep's head, and there's a lot of pinfish down there. A lot of our guys go down there and target pinfish before our long-range trips. I know they've had a lot of problems with dolphins. And this time of year, the pelicans get real tricky. Pelicans get hungrier and hungrier, and definitely a tricky situation. Yeah, show that photo, Josh. This was today. They were filleting fish from the 39-hour trip, talking about hungry pelicans. This was posted in our supporters group, our private supporters group. Zoom in on that a little bit, Josh. Hilarious. Will was filleting fish and just had a pelican land on his head, trying to get carcasses. We do a extreme amount of work to try to make sure pelicans do not get any carcasses or any scraps from our fillet tables because we've gotten in some hot water from different bird groups about pelicans getting scraps. Even though we try really hard to avoid it, it's inevitable, so we work even harder now to make sure they don't get any scraps off our tables. But this time of year, when weather starts getting colder and colder, they get more and more aggressive. So today, we're doing a good job keeping them off those cutting tables and this fish scraps. So this juvenile pelican just said, screw it, and went ahead and landed right on Will's head to try to and Will turned and posed for photos, and the pelican did not even flinch. He was just straight chilling, ready for his meal. So it was pretty entertaining.
Waiting.
Yeah, definitely hilarious. Great post in the supporters group today, Eric Deskins. Thanks, man. Let's see. Do we have anything texted in on Swell? I saw a couple messages pop up on my phone. I think we had a few questions come in. What are they serving for dinner on this weekend's 39-hour trip? I have no idea. That is Garrett's purview with Tammy and our galley team. I do not get that granular. Try not to micromanage. And I should not be in charge of menus because
It'd be bacon.
that would not go well. It would be bacon and red meat every meal. No sides.
No sides.
Nothing. It would be some sort of meat with a side of some other sort of meat.
A meat salad.
Like a steak with a sausage or a chicken and fish. It would get ugly quick. We would have no one survive Dylan Hubbard's menus. Let's see. What's our next question? Not a fishing question, but how was our Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was great. I had fun with family. That's what it's all about. That's what's cool about being closed on Thanksgiving. We got to have time to enjoy it. Josh's Thanksgiving was great. He told me the story before the show. We're not going into it.
It was amazing. It was.
It was great. So you need
Maybe on the supporter show.
The supporter show, we'll talk about Josh's
hear.
Thanksgiving Day.
So remember to sign up now.
Yeah. Can you use a 4500 spinning reel on a 10-hour trip? Yeah, so spinning reels are not recommended for bottom fishing on long-range, extreme trips, 39-hour trips, 44-hour trips. Would not recommend or really want anybody to use a spinning reel for bottom fishing on those longer-range, deep-water trips. But on 5-hour half days, 10-hour all days, fishing less than 100 foot of water, spinning reels are great options. And a majority of the time, I'm going to be fishing with a 4000 series Saltiga. It makes a killer spinning reel, super powerful, basically the same power as a 8,000 or 10,000 pen reel, and definitely a killer option on a 10-hour trip. So a 3,000, 4,000, even 5,000 series spinning reel, especially a quality reel, is a great option for a 5 or 10-hour trip. Captain Frank will use as little as a 1,000 reel sometimes on our 5-hour half days and 10-hour all days. But really, for average Joe angler, around a 4,000 series spinning reel is what you want to target on our 5 and 10-hour trips for your spinning reel setup. You can use as much as a 4,500 or 5,000. You can use as little as a 3,000. Anything outside of that, you're getting too small or too big, unless you're an advanced angler who's just out there to have some fun, or you want to really oversize it for some odd reason. But not dropping pinfish, not dropping whole sardines. You're using a small chunk of threadfin. You're using a live shrimp. You're using a small cube of squid, and that's it. If you're dropping down a pinfish, if you're dropping down a whole threadfin, that's when you're using 40, 50, 60-pound leader and a at least 4/0 conventional reel, or one of those Saltiga LD50s or Saltist LD50s. Really, a Saltist LD50 is all you need for a 5 or 10-hour trip. So on a 10-hour trip, maybe a Saltist LD50 with 40, 50-pound braid or mono, and then like 40, 50-pound leader, and then a 4,000 series spinning reel with 30-pound braid, and then like a 20-foot piece of 30-pound fluorocarbon or monofilament on top, and you're good to go. That's a great setup and combination for those trips. All right. What's your favorite lures for snook and redfish during the winter? Me, personally, I don't do a ton of inshore fishing anymore. I used to do it a lot, age like 6, 7, 8, all the way through like 15, 16. And I mainly utilized the Yozuri Crystal Minnow, the Mirror Lure Mirrodines, the Rattle Traps, the DOA Shrimp, and assorted soft plastics like the Super Fluke or Paddle Tails. But I would say my go-to, if I had to pick one lure, would be a DOA Shrimp. If you know how to work that DOA Shrimp and you're paying attention to the tides and how that shrimp is being presented, you can literally catch anything that swims inshore with the DOA Shrimp. It's the most versatile all-around bait, in my opinion, but Mirror Lure Mirrodine is a close second. rattle trap right up there, crystal minnow, kind of a fourth, fifth, gold spoon, bucktail, all great options. Very versatile jigs that can do a variety of different styles of fishing depending on how you work them. The DOA shrimp, the biggest secret to that is look at a shrimp tank. Shrimp swim extremely slowly, especially against a current, or when there's a current present, they're even exponentially more slow. So you have to, like, if you cast out with a nice rod, you might cast 40 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards, 70 yards with a big, tall bull bait rod with good quality line. And that might take you 20 minutes to retrieve that lure. If there's no current, no wind, you need to really work slow. And then if there's current, you need to be even more careful and be casting shorter, and it should still take you 20 minutes to reel it in. I mean, you got to really work it like a shrimp. And if you get that down, you start catching fish with those lures, and they become deadly. It's an incredible option. But, yeah, Brian Angle hit the nail on the head, and definitely that is the motto of DOA Shrimp. If you think you're going slow enough, slow it down even more. That's the trick to DOA Shrimp. And it works well. And it's funny he said that because obviously Brian's an inshore fisherman that's used that lure before, and that's a common motto inshore because they work really well and they've been around forever. Like my grandfather fished with DOA shrimps, mirror lures. That's been the inshore staple in our area for a long time. Josh is motioning to me. It's time to give away another free trip. So let's give away our 5-hour half day for 2 guests. 5-hour half day for 2 guests. Let's see who won. It's $130 value for 2 guests. 5-hour half day. Randy Kessel. Appreciate you, man, for watching. Congrats on the win, Randy Kessel. Let's see what other questions we have before we wrap this thing up tonight and get started with our supporters after show.
So everyone's asking for like tackle and what's your favorite hook, your favorite place to eat.
My favorite place to eat. That's a long list. You know what's funny about that is we're launching a new section of the Hubbard's Marina site. We're going to have a where to section. I'm going to announce it now so that way it's stuck. It's out there, Josh.
Well, we already knew it was out there. It was coming this week.
Yes, yeah. We talked about it in the supporters group, I think. But so everybody knows we're launching a where to section of hubbardsmarina.com. So we're going to have a where to stay, a where to eat, a where to party, a where to drink, basically a whole section curated by yours truly. The food section will be, at least. And then also our captains, our crew, our staff, and even a lot of our guests who come into the area regularly. We're going to have a where to stay, where to eat, where to drink. Basically, if you come into town, you're going to be able to go to hubbardsmarina.com and find out where the locals go, where the suggested places are for different topics. Like you want to get a pizza. These are the places that the locals will always frequent, or vacationers when they come into town won't leave town without trying, that kind of thing. So I'm super excited about that. Something I've always wanted to create and house on our website. One of the coolest things is Garrett. I think Garrett should write a book about all the crazy places he eats. And I've driven around with him before, and like we went down an alley and took 3 left turns. I'm like, where the heck are we going? Not sure if what was going to happen or where we were going. It was very questionable, and they weren't open. So then we took this way and down this alley. And then we went to another dark corner and ate at this place. Oh my goodness. It was a place my wife would never get anywhere near, wouldn't even let me get out of the car at, but it was incredible food. And these like really off the beaten path places. So we'll have our own Garrett section that you can adventure to, and it'll be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that. But my favorite places to eat, literally, I have a note section on my phone. It's like almost 4 pages now.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
I thought, like, when you want pizza? Here's 6 different places. Oh, you want seafood? Here's 20 different places.
When you sent it to me, I thought you took everywhere from the crew and put them together, and I realized that was an entirely separate list.
I wrote that one day because someone asked about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to send you one thing. I'm going to send you my whole list. And I typed it up, and I saved it in my phone because I thought it was so cool. And that's what gave me the idea. I was like, we need to put this on the website.
Speaking of which, we'll also have the Meet the Crew pages up.
That's the other thing. So the Where To section, and then a Meet the Crew, which will also be a Meet the Staff, Meet the Managers, Meet the Captains, Meet the Crew.
I mean, we all wear shirts that say crew on the back, so I mean, it's Meet the Crew.
So it'll be a really cool section where we'll have an employee basically directory where you'll be able to get to meet and greet our staff. The ladies in the office will kind of be protected a little bit for anonymity. Yeah. And the crew on the boats, we're going to put it all out there. But we're definitely going to kind of pick and choose and be a little careful when it comes to privacy. But we're going to have some cool stuff on there. So basically, we had them fill out Google Forms with, like, their favorite, I think their favorite color was listed, their favorite alcoholic drink, non-alcoholic drink.
There was a lot of stuff.
I made up like a list of like 20 questions. Some answered all 20. Some answered like 5 of them very jokingly. Some answered just 2 or 3 of them. So it'll be fun to put it all together and kind of see everybody's personalities and their answers. I think my new bookkeeper, Patricia, I think her answers were probably my favorite. But they're not PG-13. It was definitely a lot of fun reading everybody's answers. Did you see her nickname for herself?
I knew that.
The ending was unicorn.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. So it's definitely going to be a cool thing. So pay close attention to what's coming on the website this off season. Let's see. We're coming to the end of the show. The supporters after show, we're going to start that up at 9:50. So 2150 0950. 9:50 will be the supporters after show start. So if you're a supporter, make sure you join us for the after show. That will occur right in the supporters group. Also want to give a shout out to Gator Jim's Tackle for bringing you this awesome live stream show. We do these guys, I didn't forget the 39-hour trip. I just save it to the very end because I know everybody will leave once I give it away. So everybody relax. I always get like 30 texts every Sunday night. You forgot the 39-hour. I didn't forget the 39-hour. Just trying to get my announcements out of the way before we give it away. So want to give a shout out to Gator Jim's Tackle for bringing you this awesome live stream show every Sunday night right here on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel. Gator Jim's Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. Also want to give a shout out to our other sponsors and partners, our partners over at the Real Animals Fishing Show every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Except for this past Saturday. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, we did not have our live radio show. We will not have our live radio show Saturday, December 25th, because there's a thing called Christmas. And then we're not doing our Saturday live radio show New Year's Day. Sorry, not waking up that early. I hope I will be laying in bed, sleeping in, but I highly doubt that with 2 kids under 2. But we do have to thank Yamaha, Bass Pro Shops, Angle Coolers, Salt Strong, Aquatic Nutrition, Sport Fishing Chums, Cleanse Oil, and, of course, our friends at Bull Bay Rods. So appreciate y'all's help. Also, don't forget to check out Hubbard's Marina on TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Got 7 different social. Oh, Nextdoor. The Nextdoor app. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hubbard's Marina's on that. So we got 8 different social medias. Check that stuff out. Make sure you follow us. Don't forget to give us a like or a follow. We appreciate it. And then 9:50. If you're a supporter, join us for the Supporters After Show. Let's give away our 39-hour fishing trip and see who won. Hopefully you'll get a chance to join us soon here at Hubbard's Marina for some deep sea fishing fun. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. We'll see you next week for another episode of our live stream show. Every Sunday night, right here on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram channel. And our Saturday morning radio show, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on 970 WFLA. And Friday morning on Fox 13 News. Good Catch segment every Friday morning at 8:15 a.m. So, Josh, let's see who won our 39-hour trip. For one guest, we're not on Plenty of Fish yet, Jeremy, but shoot me the details on that app, and maybe we'll join it. Just kidding. Lori Myers, congratulations. A lady won our 39-hour trip. Speaking of lady anglers, we do have a ladies-only trip coming up very soon. We're scheduling a ladies-only 10-hour trip. Waiting to work with the Lady Anglers of Hubbard's Marina Facebook group to come up with a date. So if you are a lady angler watching the show, make sure you check out Lady Anglers of Hubbard's Marina, free group to join. Other lady anglers getting together, and we're gonna have ladies only fishing trips. We're gonna do a 10-hour to start, and we're gonna probably do a 39-hour soon. We're also working on bringing in slow pitch jigging tackle. We're gonna bring in a line of Temple Reef slow pitch jigging rods, and then we're gonna bring in some Daiwa slow pitch jigging reels. Maybe even some accurate 500 ends once they finally come back in inventory. So some interesting stuff happening. Check it out. Come see us. Hubbard's Marina. Don't forget, you're too busy to go fishing. You're just too busy. Supporters, we'll see you at 9.